jokes, no gimmicks, just calm.
Hey bitch, I'm back, I'm hungry.
For the longest time now, I felt that Mortal Kombat 11's story was a narrative masterpiece, that it bothered me nobody ever talked about it in depth to explain its greatness. Fear not though, I'm here for you. I'll prepare you for Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, which is the continuation of this incredible story by going back and exploring Mortal Kombat 11's, the original one, story mode. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll gain a lot of appreciation for the hard work that was put into the writing. The visuals are kinda dull though, and pretty boring, but the writing is incredible. So let's focus on the writing as to not let all that hard work go to waste. Mortal Kombat 11's story picks up where the last one left off, with Shinnok chained up after his beating by a girl who's never even held a lightsaber.
You failed!
Calm down, Snoke. She glowed green and that counts for something. Wonder why she didn't glow green later when the Special Forces gets attacked. Sure would have been helpful, but let's not think about that. It'll distract from the wonderful story on our hands.
You should thank me, Raiden. Our battle changed you. For the better.
Well, personally I can't say I disagree with that. Emo Raiden is most definitely the best Raiden. Too bad he doesn't last very long. Guess all good things must come to an end.
Oh, Raiden. Not even you can kill an elder god. What the fuck?!
After Raiden's little torture session, we get introduced to Kronika's bald head. According to Kronika's bald head, this isn't the first time Raiden fucked history, and that she isn't too thrilled about it. She's gonna fix it, or at least that's what I thought at first, but as it turns out later, it's actually much dumber than that.
For 25 years, the Special Forces have been Earthrealm's sword and shield. We've pushed back Shao Kahn, defeated Shinnok.
Wait. You're telling me that in 25 years, those are the only two notable things the Special Forces, Earthrealm's sword and shield managed to accomplish? Seems like a waste of 25 years if you ask me. Think about it. They defeated Shao Kahn, which is kind of a lie since Raiden did that, and last time I checked, he wasn't part of the Special Forces, at least not at the time of defeating him. And then they did nothing for 5 years until Shinnok appeared, at which point they defeated him, then went idle for 20 years until he reappeared and double defeated him?
You failed!
Must be a blast being part of the Special Forces. You really don't get to do much and still have a cool title.
We honor Jackie's father, and we honor his sacrifice by doing what he would do. Tirelessly defend Earthrealm.
Which is honestly not tiresome at all, since we only have to do it every 20 years or so. Cassie Cage then beats up her elderly mother to get a promotion.
I need to kick the CO's ass, ma'am. Your ass.
But before we can celebrate elderly abuse, Raiden crashes the party.
Hey bitch, I'm back, I'm hungry.
Raiden explains to the elderly couple and their daughter that they have to go kick NetherRealm's ass again, because he can't get enough of cutting people's heads off. He points them to a weakness in the NetherRealm, which is this cathedral of Shinnok. It somehow powers the entire undead army. Yes, their whole undead army. If Raiden and the Special Forces manage to destroy this cathedral, the entire undead army will just fall. It will no longer be a thing. All these guys right here are connected to one spot. That's awfully convenient. Seems like a giant flaw in their army that they should probably protect with 100 doors and at least 1,000 traps.
Aren't your powers weaker in the Netherrealm?
Yes, but I will have sufficient strength to occupy the undead army.
Well, that's a bold-faced lie. As we will soon find out, Raiden actually has enough power to occupy the undead army and probably even destroy the cathedral by himself. He really was just hoping to kill two birds with one stone, the evil bastard. At least he gets one. Don't believe me? Well, think about it. We know that Raiden can go directly to Liu Kang and Kitana's throne room, right? So that means he has a way of getting in close and fighting them without having to deal with the undead army parked outside. You could probably counter that by saying that Raiden's afraid he'll lose an uneven match against Liu Kang and Kitana. But if that was the case, why even risk going to the Netherrealm at the end of Mortal Kombat X to threaten them, since he could get attacked and killed? So it must mean that he knew they wouldn't attack him. or that if they did attack him, he could defeat them. It makes sense that he could defeat them because he has the all-powerful amulet, so why didn't he just attack them instead of threatening them? It must mean he doesn't want them to die, or at least he doesn't want to kill them himself. Think about this as well. Liu Kang hates Raiden, like a lot. If he gets an opportunity to defeat Raiden, he will 100% take it. But he doesn't attack him here. Why? Because Liu Kang knows he can't defeat Raiden, not while he has Shinnok's amulet, so he doesn't bother even attacking him. Plus, if you really think about it, Liu Kang and Kitana as undead are very weak. They both get their ass handed to them by Cassie Cage in the Netherrealm, where they are supposed to be the strongest. But hey, I might just be overthinking it. The elderly couple agree to help Raiden take out the undead army, but for some reason, Johnny Cage doesn't go with them. I guess he had more important things to do that day. It's a real shame as well, because he might have been able to help Sonya not die.
That burn victim's Cabal? Wasn't he Kano's goon back in the day?
Don't let the scars fool you. He's fast.
I mean, that's true. But, luckily for our hero, he's not intelligent at all, as he forgoes using his super speed in his fight with Cassie Cage and just lets her kick his ass. The special forces manage to capture the Bone Temple, but Liu Kang is on to their plans.
Surprise, motherfucker.
For anyone still wondering about my theory that Raiden secretly hoped they would die, look at the smug look on his face as he talks about Sonya's death.
Your mother died a warrior's death. May we all be so fortunate.
Wait a minute. How does Raiden know that Sonya died? Did he do a head check to see who came back and who didn't? And even if he managed to notice in those few seconds that Sonya was missing, how did he know that she died and not got captured? And how does he know that it was a warrior's death? Like, it clearly wasn't. But why does he think it's a warrior's death? Does Raiden have an earpiece that's connected to the Special Forces comms or something? If so, where is it?
Your mother died a warrior's death. May we all be so fortunate.
Who are you? One of Raiden's elder gods here to taunt us?
No, Kitana. I am much more. Behold.
Alright, so this is kind of where the story starts going sideways for me. Like, I gotta ask some questions. First, this establishes that Kronika can restore singular objects in their previous forms, meaning reversing time in a particular spot. In this case, where the castle was destroyed. I'd like you to keep that in mind, as it will become very relevant and will raise a lot of how come questions later on in the story. But for now, I'd like you to remember that Sonya was inside the castle when it blew up. So is she also restored back to life by the reversal of time, or is she still just body parts scattered around in the castle? How come when she reversed time in that particular spot, the C4 didn't also get reversed into its previous form with a timer that's about to explode? Now you might say she didn't reverse time, she actually just reconstructed the building using telekinesis. Alright, that would be a good explanation, but if that was the case, then how is it that the castle is staying together and not falling apart? Does telekinesis also include superglue in it? Another minor problem with the answer that this is telekinesis and not time reversal powers is that if she did use telekinesis, where did she get the castle parts from? Considering the fact that the castle was blown to pieces, I'd assume some of it was turned literally into dust. Did she conjure extra parts? If that's the case, why didn't she just conjure the entire castle back instead of doing this telekinesis show? No, the answer that actually makes sense is that this is time reversal powers. She reverses time in a particular spot and she restores the castle, which is the equivalent of a shotgun blast to the entire plot of the story. This won't be the first or last thing Kronika does that doesn't make sense at all. Kronika then explains that she intends to restart history and begin a new era. One without Raiden in it, because he irreversibly tainted the timeline she worked so hard to preserve or something. However, she cannot do that without the help of Liu Kang and Kitana and some other non-important characters. Why is that, you might ask? Well, it's never explained. Well, actually later on she says that she wants them to protect the hourglass while she reverses time to start a new era. Later we learned that Kronika actually has reverse time like a shit ton of, well, times before, but always failed to accomplish her goal of reversing time. I mean, starting a new era, which is basically reversing time. This shit is confusing. The most important detail though is that she wants an era without Raiden in it. Yet she never decides to fight Raiden herself, or even better, travel to a time when Raiden was a baby and, you know, raise him to be a good boy who doesn't screw with time. She literally controls time itself. She can do whatever the fuck she wants, yet she decides the best solution to get rid of Raiden is to start a new era. In order to start this new era, she collides the past and the future together. More specifically, Mortal Kombat 9 past and present. So let me get this straight. Instead of, I don't know, picking a past that is pre-Mortal Kombat 9, you know, like before the heroes all met, or a past after Mortal Kombat 9, you know, when the majority of the heroes are all dead, she decides it's a better idea to bring them from a past where they are united and powerful, because she is just that dumb, I guess. Also, it seems at the very least like she can actually selectively bring who she wants in, since Quan Chi and Shang Tsung were also in the arena, yet didn't also get teleported to the future. If that's the case, why didn't she just teleport the bad guys and leave the good guys in the past?
You have all returned.
I am here, Kotal.
Jade.
Nope.
Shinnok's defeated?
Our realms joined to fight him.
That's a fat lie. Weren't you the guy who said,
The heavens boil. Earthrealm is lost.
Not if we hang together.
I will appease Shinnok. Bring him your heads. Gain time to bolster Outworld's defenses.
It's okay though. I personally don't think Kotal Khan is a liar. Mortal Kombat characters tend to have amnesia from game to game. In fact, their amnesia is so strong they could literally change lore in between games that's supposed to follow the same timeline.
Devora is under my protection, Shao Kahn. As are you. I am Kronika.
Baldy tells Shao Kahn that she wants to wipe Raiden from history and that it's an immense task which requires a lot of power. Why? I have no idea. It's never explained. She also says this.
I am displeased with how history has unfolded.
So you broke time?
I stopped time. I enlist all...
Which made me realize something. She really doesn't know what time is. Or maybe she has a different concept of time? Like if you stop time, how are you talking, breathing, or even moving? You know those things require time.
As an immortal, I exist outside the normal laws of time. That could explain why I am affected differently.
Alright, so here we kinda get an explanation, maybe, as to why it might be hard to kill Raiden since, you know, he's an immortal. But why doesn't Kronika do to him what he did to Shinnok? As in, cut his head off and put it in a jar. She later kills the Elder Gods, which are also supposed to be immortal and more powerful than Raiden, and it doesn't seem to take her any effort at all. Why doesn't she do the same to Raiden? We later learned that the Elder Gods were already weakened, but why wasn't Raiden weakened as well? How come the time merging affected the Elder Gods worse than it did Raiden?
That's what's weird.
That, and having daughters our age.
Look at her. How do I have a kid?
Well, Squeaks, in between the uterus and the outside world is a connecting body part called the vagina.
Liu Kang and Kung Lao go to the Shaolin Temple to stop Grass from taking the Jinsei vials, or whatever MacGuffin it is this time. They fail thanks to Grass's ultimate fuck-off ability, which is extremely powerful as he is able to stop people dead in their tracks, making him the biggest threat they'll face yet. He will never lose again because of this ability.
Promise I don't have a small penis?
You do.
I can show you. You want to see?
Sure, go right ahead. Pull it out.
The vagina.